I am back to review Snowfall season 4, episode 8, and episode 9 rather. Reaction and review. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. This episode of Snowfall. This episode of Snowfall. I mean, what can I say? There's some things I loved, and there's some things I really didn't love about it. Quite honestly, um, this is always so much better with the screenshots. But I think ultimately, I think ultimately, it was a decent episode. You know, the show is so weird because it does so much weird ass shit. You know what I mean? It does a lot of weird shit. And I never, going back to where I left off with Snowfall in season 2, I never enjoyed the way that Snowfall resolves its storylines. I've always had an issue with how Snowfall resolves storylines because they normally do them in a very clunky and haphazard way. And tonight was no exception. Tonight was no exception. We got a lot of contrived bullshit tonight. People popping up out of nowhere. Franklin. And it begs the question, why does Franklin's plans always seem to work? I mean, and they work in the most, curious ways. Like, let's see something here. Hold on, y'all. We're gonna get this popping. Hold on. We gonna get this popping. Y'all bear with me, because we about to put some work in. We about to put some work in right here, right now. So y'all bear with me as I set this up. Y'all bear with me as I set this up, and then we're gonna keep things rolling. Hold on. Like I said, tonight's tonight's episode of Invincible kind of threw me off. Kind of threw off my plans, if you will, of how I wanted to introduce some of these shows this evening. So that's kind of been what we've been dealing with on this evening. So y'all bear with me. We about to take a look at a few things with this Snowfall shit here. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. The word of the week is contrived, brought to you by Butcher. Yeah, I've been saying Snowfall is contrived like a motherfucker for years. What's up, y'all? So now let's take a look at tonight's episode. Snowfall. Like I said, my overall thoughts are just simply the fact that it's just so contrived at this point. I'm not getting the act right that I need. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We start off the episode basically where we ended off last week, right? We end the episode here last week where Franklin sneaks around and sneaks up on your girl and catches her at the house. This is, like I said, this is more that contrived bullshit, but whatever. I thought it was kind of slick. Um, I thought it was kind of slick. You feel me? But it was bullshit. Ultimately he pops up at the house and he basically convinces her, you gonna work with me, and she start crying. Oh no, this is what they did to me, and they made me do this and all this type of shit here. So I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't think this was awful. I didn't love it, but I didn't think it was awful. It was okay. I do believe this little dynamic is something. It's just not nothing I care about. Now, here's one of the better scenes here, because Franklin had to go and stop um, Uncle from rolling up on Manboy, because Manboy was gonna kill his ass if he'd have pulled up on that barbershop. So then him and Uncle had this fight. I guess it's a long overdue kind of fight, which kind of ends on this cheesy ass scene where he's all like, when they ask me, what did I do to stop you? I'm going to tell them I did everything I could. I said, bro, this shit is so corny, bro. I said, that was so corny. It was so fucking corny. I love those IROC rims, though. I've always been a fan of those. But yeah, so, they got into a fight. Unk pretty much beat Franklin's ass, which it was long overdue. He needed his ass whooped, too. And I think Unk said a bunch of stuff in this that was really dope. One of the lines he said was, I'm tired of all your plotting. Which, we're going to come back to that later, because I am tired of a lot of Franklin's plotting myself. So then, we skedaddle a little bit. They convince her to basically flip on Manboy, so she gives Manboy a call. I love Manboy in this scene because he's asking critical questions. He's all like, why now? Like, why? Okay, like, what made him change his mind? Like, what's going on? Like, he was asking logical questions and really showing that he was a bit suspicious of what she was doing. Basically trying to set Franklin back up. So then we get, what I'm saying, your girl, she's on the Black Panther show. Alton basically is a snitch. We're back into Snitchfall again. This is basically Snitchfall all over again, because basically he just snitched on his own son, to the newspaper, but basically blew up the whole spot. Told the whole thing about the CIA, the Asian woman, and she says she's more hell bent on stopping the CIA than she is on stopping, Franklin per se. So, she goes on here and she's giving this heartfelt thing, and this guy's giving me Black Panther and power to the people. We get another cheesy line at the end of this thing talking about the revolution will not be televised, but it will be on the radio. That was his whole way of talking this whole episode. He was just that guy this whole episode. This guy here, everything was, hey, yo, yeah, welcome to my radio, Black Power family. Everything's everything. We got some truth in here tonight, people. I'm like, okay. So then we get into basically some weird shit. We get into tonight's weird shit, in my opinion. Manboy shows up on your girl's door. He pulls up on her. She like, what the fuck? Why are you here? Because Manboy figured out, you trying to set me up, meet me under the bridge. I'm going to pull up on you. You know what I'm saying? So he feel like he outsmarted the game. But, he didn't outsmart shit. Franklin was there the whole goddamn time. Can y'all believe this bullshit? So he pull up on her. You know what I'm saying? He pull up on her. She pull a knife out her skirt, cut the nigga. Now, where the fuck was that knife? Anyway, she pull a knife blade out. She cut him. He's giving rape vibes. And then he gets his ass shot. Oh, Franklin, he knows everything. He knows every fucking thing. He knows where everybody's gonna be. He knows. Y'all get the fuck out of here, bro. This is the second time he's done this in as many weeks. This is the second time where he was in the right place at the right time type of shit in as many weeks. He did the same shit last week. He turned back around and did it again this week. So then we get this scene that's kind of drawn out, and then Man Boy goes on this he does a whole speech, which I was so over Man Boy's speeches. They're just they're too poetic for me for some nigga in the hood. You know, he call them all bitches and how they ain't shit and how they ain't no motherfucking body and all this type of shit. And Franklin ends up putting them out as misery. But here's the contrived bullshit on tonight's episode. He pulls up and talks to your girl and goes, you know, here's the gun. Tell him Man Boy tried to rob you and then you shot him. I'm like, okay, that's not a bad little story. But in the meantime, Uncle has shot a bunch of people who was outside. Uncle had shot a bunch of people who was outside. His Man Boy's homies, to be exact. So Man Boy's homies was outside, you see, and then they out here chilling. Unc pull up and shoot all of them. So now the problem is, okay, how do you explain all those dead bodies outside? Well, Franklin just tells her that, hey, you know, you're a good liar. You'll come up with something. That's a huge fucking plot hole, people. That's a huge motherfucking plot hole. That's a plot hole bigger than motherfucking Dallas. So we pull up on Scully. We pull up on, you know, and she's kind of my favorite character in this whole thing because she's the only motherfucker who makes sense. But she cracks Scully in the head with a goddamn ashtray. The fuck shit is that about? So they kind of dwarfed Scully. You know what I mean? They kind of dwarfed his ass. She out here cracking motherfuckers with ashtrays, and she's badass though. Don't get me wrong, but she's cracking motherfuckers with ashtrays and shit. And they got the ghetto girls and shit. This episode is just weird, bro. This show is fucking weird, bro. And y'all telling me this shit's better than The Wire? Y'all telling me this is better than The motherfucking Wire? So we get some stuff with Teddy. I'm just shooting through this now because, I mean, a lot of this stuff is supposed to be meaningful. It's just not. The mom is here talking to your boy. We get the ghetto girls, you know, who helped shoot your girl on last week. Then they brought the little stripper in. Then Wanda shows up, and Wanda's like, "Ooh, I know where Leon at though. I know where Leon them at though." Okay, you know where Leon at. Y'all gonna come do it? So then, you know, she convinced them to come through to come kill Leon. And then we get more of this little shit with Javi. I still don't understand Javi's role at this point. This is the most failed character. This is probably the most failed character in Snowfall, in my opinion. Like, he's completely failed. He's just a failed character. Unrealized potential. He's been around since season 1, and he's just a failed character. So they have a little brief convo. They do the little gimmick here where they pull up on the ghetto girls. But they make a deal with the ghetto girls that, hey, if y'all work for me, y'all can have some real money, you know what I mean? And y'all can just turn over Scully's girlfriend, Scully's baby mama. So they decide to turn over Scully's baby mama. You know, and Scully like, man, you got to get that hate out your heart. You know, you got to stop being like that. And see, they got Scully looking like a straight bitch, bro. I don't know what happened here. I don't know when Scully became this dude, but they just completely dwarfed his character like 110%. So this was an interesting scene. Teddy meets up with the news reporter, basically confesses everything about the CIA, but at the same time, he's buying drinks and getting her drunk off that Jameson whiskey she like. So, you know what I'm saying? He tell the whole story. My name is Teddy, and the CIA came to me, blah, blah, blah. And then, like I said, he's getting drinks, so they drinking like a motherfucker. So we cut back to Leon. Leon apologizes. This is probably my favorite scene of tonight's episode. Leon apologizes for shooting her daughter. You know what I mean? And she like, you know, nigga, I don't give a fuck. I really loved her this season. Being a pissed off mama at, you know, that her daughter got killed. So I did enjoy her this season, quite honestly. But she's fucking pissed off. And then, what's her name just went ahead and shot her ass. She basically like, I don't give a fuck, about you, and I ain't your homie and shit. And then he just fucking shot her, bro. That's because they shot Wanda. I mean, shot Louis, excuse me. So I don't really understand what Leon is doing here. I mean, he's supposed to be remorseful. I don't know, bro. I really don't understand all the emotions in this scene, quite frankly. Um, I mean, Diamond and them ain't got no loyalty. That's the name of the ghetto girls. Should I think it was Diamond and some shit? So I don't know. So she's stumbling now. She fucking drunk. She talk about, don't touch me. This doesn't make up for what you did. She was just being a weird bitch in this scene, bro. I was like, what? I was like, what? So she's being a weird little bitch in this scene. I ain't gonna hold you. Teddy offered her to get her a ride home, but she declined it. So Teddy pulls off. We cut to Alton. He comes up to the hospital to meet the mom. Next week's episode is going to be interesting because of this, but he pulls up on the mom. You know what I mean? She basically says she tired of all this shit, shit getting crazy. And then he give her a hug. And then your boy pull up and basically tell her, hey, get your motherfucking ass up out of here. You ain't cool with us right now, which he ain't because he snitched. I mean, he brought a lot of heat down on the family. Talking about he helping everybody out. He really got people killed, snitch fall. So, we get this little scene here. And then your girl, she a little tipsy. She falling asleep, and end up getting into a wreck. We see Scully seeing his baby girl and got her ass smoked. So he done lost both his chicks. He said he was being cursed because of when he crucified that dude earlier this season. And there you have it. So this was a weird scene. Teddy shows up and then basically suffocates her. And this is why Snowfall is a weak show in my opinion, because, or I won't say weak, it's just they do stuff like this I don't love. So she crashes because she was drunk. He pulls up on her and basically suffocates her to death. Now, the thing is, if you suffocate a person to death, the autopsy is going to show that's how she died. The autopsy is going to show, and we just seen, that girl at the coroner. So we understand that autopsies and things of that nature are a part of this universe. So maybe that comes back, but later in the episode, there's a police report that says, or a news report that says that she was found dead. Everybody's ruling it a DWI or some shit like that, a drunk driving accident. What up, Damo? But I'm looking at it like a drunk driving accident when in actuality, her lungs would show that she was suffocated to death. So that's my problem with this scene, is the fact that it looks like it's something clever, but the logic doesn't support it. The same thing that happened earlier with the shooting at your girl's house. The logic doesn't support what we saw. You know what I mean? So never was a big fan of that. They chilling here. Teddy pulls his ass up to the hospital. And we get a little key moment here where, Teddy pulls up and he's like, hey, I took care of that reporter basically. And he's like, yeah. He was like, okay, that's what's up. And he said, well, hey, what do you want to do about your father? Because we're going to have to kill him too. You know what I mean? We're going to have to kill your fucking pops too. And then he looks at his mom and he's all like, well, fuck. Yeah, we're going to have to kill him too. See, so he's watching the news. This is when we get the report of, the reporter has been killed. And his ass is like, oh shit, they done killed the motherfucking reporter? He said, oh man, this shit done went to hell. I'm out of here. This nigga grabbed his shit and bounced. He grabbed his shit and tore his ass. And that was the end of tonight's episode. So all in all, I feel like tonight's episode, I probably have to give it about a 5 out of 10, bro. 5 out of 10. Because the one thing I can say positively for Snowfall, now that I'm back reviewing it for these final 2 episodes, is that I think they learned from their season 2 mistakes. They no longer resolve their storylines with just snitching. They're actually using gun violence. Oh, imagine that. A crime drama that uses gun violence to resolve their plots. Imagine that. But I still think that it's just not tight enough for me. It's just not well written enough for me. It was Snowfall was trending today, as a matter of fact, about people are saying it's better than The Wire. See, that's my thing with Snowfall. They've been saying this show is better than everything since it came out. It was better than Power. It's better than Breaking Bad. It's better than the fucking Wire. It is not. It is not. It's not. The Wire brought so much realism to that Baltimore inner city area that you thought you was watching a documentary half the fucking time with The Wire. The realism on The Wire was so spot on. It was so tangible. It didn't make no goddamn sense. Breaking Bad was so well written. So well written. The nuances of Breaking Bad alone surpass anything that Snowfall has been able to do in 4 seasons. And to say it's better than Power, Power had better actors. Omari Hardwick is a better actor than Damien. They had a better cast. They had better actors who delivered better in bigger moments, especially in the first 4 or 5 seasons of Power. The plot was better. The love triangle was better. So for as much credit as I can give Snowfall for improving from the shit show that was season 2, I can't. All of this hype, all of it's the best show on TV. It's better than Power. People said it was better than the fucking Wire. Give me a break. Give me a break. This show feels plastic. I've always said that. It feels kind of plastic for what it's supposed to be given. But with all of that being said, I do think that it has improved. I will say that it has improved. I cannot deny that. I cannot tell a lie. I cannot tell a lie. I do feel like this show has improved. So I will give it that. But please slow the fuck down. Because there's nothing, I haven't seen anything on Snowfall that remotely resembles groundbreaking. Some of the cinematography, kind of is a nod to John Singleton's style. But other than that, from a plot perspective, character development, character exploration, even exploring the nature of the context of the show, drugs coming in, CIA, they haven't done anything that's been exemplary, in my opinion. All of it's been good enough, poor to good enough. Nothing has been exemplary at all. So, those are my thoughts. That'll be my review of Snowfall, Season 4, Episode 9. I'll review the finale on next week. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'm back. This is really just, this is really just me kind of getting back to my roots. So for those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already, and keep those hearts flying. I'll see you guys on the flip side. One love.